Hey guys, welcome to Myth Mondays. As the name would suggest, every Monday we're going to help you debunk some of those crazy myths that are floating around in the health and fitness industry. Today we're going to talk about the never-ending debate on protein absorption. Okay, so everybody has that one friend or has read that article that tells you that your body can only absorb 20 to 30 grams of protein at a time, and anything more than that just goes to waste. Is this really true? No. But before I tell you why, let's talk about where this idea started from. Now, one theory is that there was a group of scientists that were absolutely fascinated with, get this, urine.
Say what?
Now, these scientists took a large group of subjects, fed them more than 30 grams of protein in one meal, and then tested their urine to see what they could find in their waste. What they ended up finding was that each of those test subjects had really elevated levels of nitrogen in their urine, and protein is the only macronutrient that contains nitrogen. So logically, they kind of concluded that that must mean the body is excreting extra protein as waste. Now, the only flaw in this conclusion is that they're only considering the nitrogen aspect of protein, but proteins are also made up of oxygen, hydrogen, and carbon. And to be honest, carbon is the part of the protein that even has calories, nitrogen does not. So the part that comes out as waste is kind of almost negligible. Alright, let's think about this from a more practical point of view. Even if none of the science that I just explained to you makes any sense, just picture this for me. Imagine you have a salad that has 8 ounces of chicken breast on it. That would be 56 grams of protein. Now, if this 30 gram per meal rule reigned true, that would mean that 26 grams of protein would be extra and therefore just excreted as waste immediately from your body. When you're finished eating, do you poop out that extra 4 ounces of chicken looking exactly the way it did before you ate it? No, this isn't corn.
Ew, gross.
It's gonna drop into the toilet exactly the way the rest of your food does, digested. I mean, this rather graphic example should let you rest assured that your protein is being digested, even if you eat more than 30 grams of it at a time. Another source of this 20 to 30 gram theory could have come from people looking a little bit too closely at the details of protein digestion. We all know that protein takes a lot of time and a lot of effort for your body to digest, especially more than something like maybe carbs. So when you eat a large amount of protein, people can find that sometimes they just feel extra full, and then if it's really too much, they can even feel bloated. So taking these things into account, that can make people feel like maybe they got too much protein, and therefore they would set the 30 gram rule for themselves. Now, every single person is different and we're gonna have different abilities to digest protein. So to set a hard and fast rule like that seems a little counterintuitive. What I would suggest you do is do what works best for you. If eating 25 grams of protein makes you feel awesome and 50 grams of protein makes you feel bloated, limit yourself to 25 grams of protein at a time. And just the same way, if eating 80 grams of protein helps you hit your daily goal a lot easier, but you don't feel bloated and you don't feel uncomfortable, do that. Just know that neither of these approaches is either better or worse for the amount of protein your body will actually absorb. Alright, so while there are probably plenty of explanations for where this limited absorption theory came from, we're just going to talk about one more. And the culprit of this one is called the anabolic window. Now these are huge buzzwords in the health and fitness industry, so let me help you break it apart and understand what it means. In order to be anabolic, that means that your body is creating cells and tissue, and most people understand this to be making muscle mass or gains. So in order for your body to be anabolic, 2 things have to happen. The first thing is that you have to be in a state of muscle protein synthesis, and that just means your body is using the protein that you gave it in order to repair the muscle that you broke down during some exercise or a really intense workout. The second thing that has to happen is that your protein muscle synthesis has to outweigh the effect of what's called muscle breakdown, which is where you lose muscle after exercise. It is generally accepted that there is a small window of time in which this anabolic state will occur almost effortlessly if you give your body protein, and that's what's referred to as the anabolic window. Now this window is said to be open for about 30 minutes right after you're done with an intense workout, and the recommended dose of protein that you take in that window is about 25 to 30 grams. So that would make a lot of sense as to why people think this is the limit for how much you should take in at one time. Alongside the topic of the anabolic window, people often wonder if eating smaller, more frequent meals gives the body a better opportunity for muscle protein synthesis. Now, just like the anabolic window, this doesn't have a whole lot of scientific research to back it up, and this tends to get a little bit tricky because a body that's in a state of muscle protein synthesis is not always building muscle. Sometimes your rate of muscle breakdown matches your rate of muscle protein synthesis, therefore you're gaining muscle just as fast as you're losing it. So the size and frequencies of your meals at that point would kind of be irrelevant. So from a recovery and performance perspective, I would recommend you just do what feels best for you and then do your research to see how that's actually impacting your body. From a health perspective, however, I do think there's a lot of benefit and downfalls to either eating less frequently or more frequently, because that can impact your hormones, your insulin levels, things like that. But again, these are very relative and unique situations and should be tailored to as such. Alright, so now that you know that your body is not necessarily wasting extra protein, where is it even going? Now, we all know that muscle building is a main function of protein in the body, but to be honest, it does so many other things. Protein is basically the building block for almost everything in the body. Your cells, your skin, hair, nails, even your blood. So it's really important that you're hitting your daily target intake goal for your protein every single day. If you're wondering how much protein you should be getting, I'm going to leave a link down in my bio to help you discover the number that's right for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you found this content to be helpful, go ahead and press that like button and leave me any questions you have in the comments below. For all my H.I.N.T VIPs, you guys are the coolest, and if you haven't become one yet or you haven't even read the free book we're giving away, that link is also going to be in my bio, so go ahead and snag that now. See you guys next time.